Hi, welcome to Social Studies. Today we're going to discuss what is social studies? Why is it important? Why do we devote an entire part of our day to learning about social studies? The answer is kind of complicated, but also kind of simple. I'll tell you what I mean by that. Social studies is the study of people. It incorporates location, history, human nature. In a nutshell, you could say social studies is the study of humans' actions toward one another. So why is this so important? Well, social studies helps us to understand where we are in the world, who we are, why we are who we are, and how we can become the people that we want to be in the future. In fourth grade social studies, we learn about the history of America through a variety of stories from real people from our past. And as we're thinking about our past, we hope that you will consider issues that are happening now and issues that will happen in the future. Learning about our past can help us understand our present. And we really hope that what you learn this year inspires you to be a good citizen in our class, our community, our country, and our world. So today, we're going to talk about some big ideas that will help get your brain ready for thinking about all of the different things we will learn about in social studies this year. These big ideas are called themes. A theme is an idea that will show up throughout our social studies learning this year. If you're thinking to yourself as I'm going through these themes that, oh my gosh, I don't know what this word means, or I don't feel like I know what Miss Kipling is talking about, that's okay. We're going to do this all year. We're going to use these themes every time we use social studies. So what I'd like you to get out of this video is just to have heard of them before, right? So this is an introduction to all of these themes, and we're going to play a little game to sort of help us start to get familiar with what they all mean. Okay, so the different themes to keep in mind when we're learning about social studies are individuals, groups, and institutions, beliefs and ideals, conflict and change, distribution of power, location, technological innovations, and movement and migration. Okay, so on the next slide, we're going to start our little game to get introduced to these different themes. And the way it works is I'll show you a picture, like the one on this slide, and there's also going to be a list on every slide of all of the themes that I just mentioned. Now again, don't worry if you don't know what they mean yet, we will get there. This is just your first gut reaction to when you see this picture, which one of these themes do you think it goes with? I'll tell you, there's not a wrong answer. There's an answer that I'm thinking of, but even if you're thinking of a different theme than the one that I tell you that I chose, it's okay. There's many possibilities for your answers. So when you look at the picture, you might want to ask yourself, all right, does this go along with conflict and change, movement and migration, technological innovations, distribution of power, location, beliefs and ideals, individuals, groups, and institutions? Once you've made your decision, you're going to hold up the number of fingers that go along with the theme on your screen. So if you think that it's distribution of power, you're going to hold up 4 fingers. If you think that it's conflict and change, you'll hold up 1. If you need to use 2 hands because you chose 6 or 7, that's great too. This gives your teacher an idea of what you're thinking. Again, don't worry, there are no wrong answers. It's just for fun to get us used to hearing these words and to understand these themes a little bit better. All right. After I show you the picture clue, I'll show you a text clue so that if you want to change your answer after you see what the text says, then you can. All right, here's your text clue for this one. People's ideas and feelings influence their decisions. All right. So I wonder if you can guess where I'm coming from with this one. Go ahead and put up your final answer, number of fingers. And I chose for this one, beliefs and ideals. If you picked a different one, like I said, that's okay. There's many possibilities, but this is just what I was thinking. So the reason I chose beliefs and ideals for this picture is because this image shows people standing up for what they believe in. You'll learn in 4th grade that there was a time in our country's history when women didn't have the right to vote. I know, right? And that's why I chose this for beliefs and ideals. Now, when we're learning about different people's beliefs and ideals, some questions you can ask yourself as you're learning social studies this year are, how do we decide what is fair? And how does what we believe determine the rules and laws of where we live? Just some things to think about. Okay, you ready to try the next one? Here are your images. Hold up the number of fingers that go along with the theme you think matches these images best. All right, here's a text clue for you. Some inventions or discoveries can completely change how humans live and affect our quality of life. If you think you might want to change your answer, you can change your number of fingers. And in just a moment, I'll reveal what I was thinking. Okay, if you said technological innovations, if you held up 3 fingers, then I agree with you. If you did a different one, of course, that's fine too. So technological innovations mean breakthroughs in technology, inventions. So some questions, these are some inventions that you will learn about this year in 4th grade. And some questions you could ask yourself as you're learning about new discoveries in technology are these. Is technology good or bad? What are some inventions that have helped you? Have these inventions had any bad or harmful results? Just some things to think about as we move ahead. Okay, get ready for the next one. This is a throwback to 3rd grade social studies, when you learned about the nation's first people and the different places they lived in North America. Which theme matches these pictures, in your opinion? Hold up the number of fingers. Here's your text clue. Where people live matters. Okay, do you have your answer? Here's what I was thinking. If you held up 5 fingers to say location, then I agree with you. So I chose these pictures to show location because they're dressed very differently based on where they live in the world. And here are some questions you can ask yourself as you learn about location in social studies. How does where you live affect your life? Why do people choose to live and work where they do? Let's do another one. Okay, this is a picture that you'll see pretty soon in 4th grade social studies. I'm not going to give away any spoilers, but this is a big event in American history. Which of these themes do you think it best connects to? Hold up a finger, or 2 or 3 or 4 or 5 or 6 or 7. All right, the text clue for this one might give it away, but I'll show it to you anyway. Here it is. Conflict causes change. All right, if you held up 1 finger for conflict and change, then I agree with you. This is an image of something called the Boston Massacre, and we'll get more into detail with that later. But here are some questions. As you learn about conflicts in social studies, you can ask yourself these questions. What happens when people don't agree? How can you make changes when you don't agree with the rules? Are those changes always fair? All right, let's do another. Okay, here's another preview of something you'll learn about in social studies. Try to make some inferences from this picture. Where are they going? Hold up the number of fingers for the theme you think this connects to best. Okay, here's your text clue. Moving to new places changes the people, land, and culture of the new place, as well as the place that was left. Hold up your fingers for your final answer. Okay, if you held up 2 fingers and said movement and migration, I agree with you. This is an image of an event in history called the Trail of Tears, where American Indians were forcefully removed from their territory. We'll learn more about this in 4th grade, and some questions that you can ask yourself when you're learning about groups of people moving from one place to the next or to another are: what would happen if you moved to a new place? Why would people want to move? How would that movement affect the place they are moving to and the place they are leaving behind? Let's do another. Okay, there are 3 images for this one. I see one person here, several here, and then a flag. All right, here's your text clue. What people, groups, and institutions say and do can help or harm others, whether they mean to or not. All right, put up your final answer. How many fingers are you going to choose? If you held up 7 fingers for individuals, groups, and institutions, I agree with you. So what does that mean? Think about school. You are an individual, your class is the group that you're in, and the institution is your school or your school system. So in these pictures, you see a soldier, you see a group of soldiers, and then you see the flag. The institution is the country. So you go from small group of 1 to larger groups. And as we're learning about groups in social studies, here are some questions you could ask yourself. Why do people form groups or clubs? How can groups change society? What are some things that institutions provide for us? And what are some negative consequences of institutions? All right, here's our last one. We have an image that shows the 3 branches of government. This might be a review for you from 3rd grade. And if you haven't gotten to that yet in 3rd grade, then we'll make sure we revisit it this year. And then you have an individual casting their vote. All right, here's your text clue. The power in a government is structured to be shared based on a society's values and beliefs. All right, hold up the number of fingers that you think might connect best. All right, if you held up 4 fingers, then I agree with you. Distribution of power. And when we're learning about who has the power in a society, here are some questions you could ask yourself. Who has the power in your life? Think beyond just your parents and your teachers. Why do you think power is distributed? How does the distribution of power affect laws? And how do laws affect the distribution of power? So who's in charge in a community or in a society, and why? All right, 4th graders, I hope you enjoyed that super quick introduction to the different themes that will help us to think about social studies and connect our learning to our own lives. Enjoy your social studies lessons this year. It's very important, and I hope that you learn a ton. Bye.